Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. I'm happy that you are here. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur who is trying to get over that hump. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to make it happen and accomplish that dream. Mogul Motivation, the root of this podcast is exactly what it's called, motivation. It's about motivating you to keep going through the rough patches in your entrepreneurial journey and in your career. That's what Mogul Motivation is all about. So although I frame it around entrepreneurs, the principles that you hear in this podcast can be applied to anything you do in life. And I do it for free. I don't ask for any money. I don't take any solicitations for advertisement. None of that. I want this to be pure, genuine motivation. And if you find anything in this podcast that benefits you, please pass it on to somebody else who will benefit from it as well. So please share, subscribe, leave a review, do everything. All of that would mean a lot to me. So if you haven't noticed, I don't have my Mogul theme at the beginning of this episode. My intro, that's what I call it, the Mogul theme that I've been using for about the past 30 or 40 episodes, primarily this year and going forward. Unfortunately, my computer is in the hospital. My computer is at the Best Buy Geek Squad right now as we speak, because it had some issues and it wouldn't stay on. So that's currently being repaired. And I need my computer to work. I'm a professional photographer, a professional media producer. I'm writing a novel. All of my entire life is on that computer. So definitely pray for Old Faithful. I have everything backed up, but nevertheless, definitely pray for Old Faithful. I had that computer for a long time. It's my workhorse, and I'm hoping that it can be repaired. So unfortunately, I'm not able to, edit this podcast. I'm not able to, do all the things that I do with all the other episodes. Right now, I'm in the library recording this. That's why I'm recording this podcast. And the reason why I'm in the library is because I'm dedicated. I told myself when I start this podcast, I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to slack. It's been plenty of weeks where, I wasn't motivated myself, but I had to force myself to get motivated so that I can produce this podcast so I can put it out to you guys, because there's so many of you faithful listeners out there that I appreciate that look forward to Mogul Motivation every single Wednesday. So I told myself, no matter what, I'm always going to do a new episode every single Wednesday. And this Wednesday, it was in jeopardy of that streak being broken. This is the 107th episode. The streak was in jeopardy of being broken this week, but I told myself, no, get up, go to the library, record it there, record it straight, record it raw, and upload it. So that's basically what I'm doing. And that's a segue into this week's topic. Basically, when you're doing something, when you're building a business, when you're going after your dreams, there's always going to be a monkey wrench. Okay, it's always going to be something that's going to come between you and your goals. It's always going to be unexpected. Most times it's going to be unexpected. You're not going to see it coming. It's going to be like a left hook that comes out of nowhere and just knocks you down on the mat. Okay, and that's basically what happened this week with my computer. But it is bigger things that can, sidetrack you and delay your dreams. It can be if you're trying to buy a house, the lenders and all these other people who need paperwork from you, they're going to constantly want things from you, and your closing date might constantly get pushed back. So you might go from being able to close in October to not being able to close in December. All right. It's always going to be something that's going to stall you when you're doing something great. See, when you're doing something mediocre, when you're doing something basic, it's not going to be a lot of opposition because you're not going anywhere. Because you're just living, you're just existing. You're just going through the motions. So it's easy to be mediocre. It's easy to go through the motions and have no type of ambition, no type of goal to strive for. That's easy. Nothing's going to come between you and not doing anything. That's what the negative forces of this world want you to do in the first place. It's always when you're doing something monumental that you're going to encounter opposition and you're going to encounter these unexpected problems. But the show goes on. The show always goes on. Because whenever you have a dream, whenever your mind is focused on something, nothing can stop you from getting to it. Yes, you might be delayed. Yes, you might have to do things a little bit differently than how you originally planned it. But nevertheless, you have to get to where you get to. I posted a Facebook status a couple days ago about how we downgrade our dreams all the time. All right, so we always downgrade our dreams. So we start out having high hopes. So the example that I used in that post was a doctor. Okay, it's just an example. So you might want to be a doctor while you're in high school or you're in college, right? But as we get older, and as all these unexpected problems come about and all these unforeseen things, we start to downgrade our dreams. So we go from wanting to be a doctor to saying, you know what, maybe I can just be a nurse. Then we go from wanting to be a nurse to saying, you know what, maybe I can just be a CNA. Then we go from being a CNA to, maybe I can just work the front desk at this hospital or this health clinic. We downgrade our dreams when unexpected problems occur. We have to stop doing that, ladies and gentlemen. We can't downgrade ourselves because everything that we want to do, everything that we had our mind set upon is still obtainable. No matter what you're going through in life, no matter what the issues are, no matter what the unexpected problems are, everything that you have your mind set on is still obtainable. Don't let age worry you. Don't let your circumstances worry you. If you have your mind set on something, it's still obtainable and you can still make it happen. That's a fact. Don't let other people determine your timeline. I talked about that in another last week on What is Success, episode 106. Don't let people determine your timeline. And more importantly, don't let circumstances determine that. If you have your mind set on something, you have to make it happen by any means necessary. You have to use your ingenuity. You have to persevere, and you have to figure things out. You have to work smart, not harder. It's really no secret to it. And that goes with your business, and that goes with anything that you're doing. Do not downgrade your dreams because of unexpected problems and monkey wrenches that's thrown into your plan. Just because it's delayed doesn't mean it's denied. Okay? Just because you can't close on this house right now because of all these unexpected problems doesn't mean you're not going to close on that house. You're going to get those keys. Just because your credit score took a ding, it went down 10 points or however many points, doesn't mean you still can't get your new car. Doesn't mean you still can't get that business loan. Doesn't mean you still can't do what you want to do. It's just going to take a little while longer. But guess what? The time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well let that time pass being productive as opposed to being passive and sulking into what you think is a defeat, but is really a delay. The show goes on. No matter what happens in your life, the show goes on because you have a plan. You already have in your mind what you want to do and what you want to achieve, business and career-wise. The show goes on, no matter what. If you're having technical difficulties, the show goes on. If you're having a rough moment in your life, the show goes on. If you're battling depression and anxiety, the show goes on because you're not alone. You're not the only one battling those things. You're not the only one going through hardship. You're not the only one who's having unexpected problems. Everybody that you know, I guarantee, is battling something in their life, whether it be depression, anxiety, worry. Everybody is battling it. The thing is, we don't talk. So therefore, we always think we're the only ones going through it. We think we're the only ones who is suffering these issues. We think we're the only one whose business isn't growing. We think we're the only one whose career is being delayed and knocked off track. No, you're not the only one. You'd be surprised how many of us battle the same things. You will be surprised, but the show goes on. The show does not stop because we're stronger than that. We're stronger than all of these unexpected problems and all of these issues in our life. We have more courage. We're resilient, and we will make it happen. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what's going on in your business, no matter what's going on in your career, continue to go forward. Just sit down, take a breather, and figure it out. But don't quit. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. And until next week and beyond, never forget that the show goes on. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.